Welcome to the 2025 Atlantic Sun Conference Baseball Showcase. I'm William Hall, and I'm so excited you're joining us as we preview one of the most exciting leagues in all of collegiate baseball. Stick with us as we round the bases of the ASUN, hearing from our head coaches, student athletes, and preview the upcoming season. To get things started, let's go west and hear from the Wolves of West Georgia.
Hi, my name is Ben Lilly. I'm here with Lane Pearson and the head coach of West Georgia Baseball, Coach Smith. Today, we're going to ask you guys a couple of questions, get ready for the baseball season. So, starting with you, Coach Smith, this is your first year in the ASUN. What can we expect from West Georgia as they enter D1 baseball?
Well, I think what the ASUN will see is a highly competitive team. Our guys have a competitive nature about themselves. We've worked really hard this fall. Had a lot of new players coming in with 27 new players, and they've meshed and bonded together really well.
All right, I'm excited. Now, Lane, what is the excitement in the clubhouse to be joining the Atlantic Sun?
The Atlantic Sun's a great baseball conference. The guys are ready to go. Like Coach said, we've been working hard since August. We're ready to go. I know the guys are super competitive. We're ready to compete.
That's good. Good to hear. All right, back to you, Coach. How do you approach team building activities outside of the regular practice?
Well, what we do is, my wife and I had the players over to the house, and we had a little cornhole competition, a little chili supper, and we kind of try to focus on things outside of baseball, getting our players to interact and kind of bond, and I think that is one of the things that has been good for this year's team.
I heard you guys had a big team breakfast in the dining hall this morning. Is that a regular thing?
Well, we had a couple recruits on campus today, but on Fridays after lifts, a lot of guys go over to the Waffle House.
Yes, sir.
And kind of chow down.
All right. And then Lane, is there a team or a place in the ASUN that you're most excited to play?
Personally, I'm ready to go to Florida Gulf Coast, go down to Florida. Honestly, all the Florida schools. I think it's going to be a great year. Go to a lot of cool places. Honestly, not one place really sticks out because I think the whole ASUN has great locations.
All right. Well, I'm excited. It's going to be a great year in Division I era in Carrollton, Georgia. So back to you in the studio, William.
The Wolves enter the 2025 season as first-time members of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Two key hitters return to this year's squad, Cooper Prince and Jack Whitmer, who both scored over 30 runs and posted batting averages above 320. UWG kicks off its first Division I season at home, hosting New Orleans in Carrollton, Georgia. Next, let's send it to the Bellarmine Knights.
We're here with Bellarmine Baseball. We want to thank William Hall at the ASUN. I'm Adam Pruitt, Bellarmine's SID for baseball. We're here with head coach Ben Reel and outfielder Casey Sorg, who was also a first-team All-ASUN selection last season. Coach, let's lead it off with you. How is you're new with Bellarmine? How has your first season with the Knights been so far?
It's been inspiring to see our guys overcome some changes in the fall. I think they inspired us all, and I think our coaching staff was right there with them, just being resourceful and working together, and everybody trying to advance on the same initiative was inspiring to watch. So great fall.
Casey, you're a veteran player, obviously coming off a great individual season. What are you most excited about for this season? I'm sure you're hoping for some more team success.
I'm excited to see that new brand of Bellarmine Baseball against the Belly Boys era now. B-Reels came in, new coaching staff. We're super grateful for them. They've done a lot of hard work. They've worked for us a lot. So, again, we've done a lot of great things this fall, taking the right steps, and we're excited to see it in the 25 season.
Coach, this is your first year. You had incredible success on the NAI level at IU Southeast, which is only a few miles from Louisville. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Tell us about your familiarity with Bellarmine as a program, and again, just sort of your style of baseball and what you want to implement.
Being in the greater Louisville area for 20 years, Bellarmine baseball's been a staple here. They've had it's a storied program. They've had some incredible players. Most recently, Brandon Fott, I mean, last year I think gave us all goosebumps. But, yeah, watching guys like Casey, you know, as kids grow up, you know, on diamonds in the greater Louisville area, I think it's pretty special. And I think most importantly, my job is to advance the tradition and give the alumni and, you know, our fan base something to watch. You know, I think it's going to be you know, the same style that I've had my whole career, just, you know, play tough, play hard, and the hero is the team. And I think that will, be an overarching theme of my entire career here at Bellarmine.
Casey, you know, just kind of give some of your thoughts on the fall and areas you maybe felt like the team improved, and maybe some areas where you think there will be significant improvement this season with the team.
So, yeah, like I said, did a lot of good things this fall, kind of shifting our perspective here at Bellarmine Baseball. So took the right steps, a lot of exciting players. Again, like we said, the hero is the team. So everybody plays a role, all the new guys, the transfers that came in, and then also those core pieces that came back and returned as well. I think we're excited to see a couple pieces, especially Sam Matherly had a lot of good innings for us last year on the mound, so we're excited to see him again in the spring. And then another guy that we did not see because he was injured, Landon Akers, great athlete, great baseball player. We're excited to see his athleticism on the field this spring.
Coach, Casey, thank you for your time. William, back to you.
Bellarmine enters the 2025 season with a new head coach in Ben Reel. The Knights returned 2 productive starters in Casey Sorg and Luke Scales. Sorg hit 14 home runs and posted a .384 batting average, while Scales recorded 52 hits and scored 22 runs last season. The Knights start off 2025 against number 25 Troy. Next, let's head to Florence, Alabama, home of the Lions.
Thank you very much, William. We're joined with head coach Jad Prackniak in his 3rd season and UNA pitcher Bryson Parrish. And Coach, let's start with you. Tell us about some of the key areas that you've seen out of this team throughout fall practice.
Sure. We have 17 new players. So I've been really encouraged with some of the returners setting the tone, but I've been impressed with the 17 new guys, and we have a mix of high school, junior college, and 4-year transfers, and they have integrated really well. So we put this group together. Having that many new faces, sometimes the uncertainty of what it's going to look like, but those guys have done a really good job of gelling. I give the upperclassmen credit for setting the tone, and then the new guys have done a really good job of doing their part as well.
And Bryson, you've been here a while now. You're the old guy on the team,
Yes,
right?
Sir.
What have you liked most about this group so far?
I just love how much fun we can have. I mean, even in times where we're doing stuff that's trying for us, you know, we get the fun out of it, but we also, you know, get better through it, and we're just able to do that together, and it just makes it go by that much easier and that much better for all of us.
Coach, again, your 3rd year. What are some of the goals and expectations for this year's team?
We want to play postseason baseball is a big one. So that's kind of an end goal of getting to the postseason and seeing what we can do there. But we're looking forward to playing our best baseball middle of March into May, and we want to use the 16 non-conference games before conference play to find our identity a little bit.
And Bryson, as we sort of wrap up with this team, as you guys have scrimmaged throughout the fall, going up against one another, where do you feel like the biggest strength has been?
I think it's our depth. I mean, all around, outfield, infield, catcher, pitcher, everything. We've got depth there, and I think that does 2 things for us. It kind of gives us the practice. I guess compete in practice and get better, and also have a little extra added layer to practice where you're competing for a spot every day. And also, you know, as a pitcher, for me, it gives me a lot of confidence when I step on the mound. There's so many different groups of 8 people behind me that I'll be happy to go to war with any day.
It'll be here soon. We appreciate both of you chatting with us. Let's toss it back to William in the studio.
The Lions enter their 3rd season under head coach Jad Prackniak in 2025. North Alabama returns outfielder Jonathan Lane, who tallied 58 hits and scored 24 runs last season. Prackniak and Lane start their 2025 campaign at the home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas, Toyota Field in Huntsville, Alabama. Next, let's send it to Queens University.
I'm Carson Sadler, sitting here with baseball head coach Jake Hendrick and Landry Jerica. How are you guys?
Great.
Awesome. Well, first question's for you, Coach. What is the mindset that you guys have going into this 2025 season?
I think we're just trying to be aggressive. We're trying to grow what we're doing, and year 2, we're excited about the group, and I think definitely aggressiveness is what we're hunting.
Now, Landry, what advice would you give to younger players that are just starting off in the league?
You know, it's going to take time. You know, with me, obviously, I had a gap year in between, so coming back into the Division I level, it's going to take some time to get used to that, and really just embracing the failure aspect and just getting in the middle of something is really going to help alleviate that process.
Coach, what is the team's biggest asset as you see it right now?
Oh gosh, pretty early in the year for me to think about that. I think the chemistry's been really good. Guys are working hard. I think they're motivated and excited to come out to the field. So, you know, really in the fall, that's about as much as I could ask for. But maybe about game 30, ask me again what we're leaning on. But yeah, I've been excited to coach this group and the way they've moved about things day to day. So yeah, we're happy with where we are.
Awesome. Landry, what goals do you have set for yourself this next season?
I mean, a lot of them. I would like to win ASUN Pitcher of the Year. I'd like to throw below 3 ERA, somewhere around there. And yeah, just dominate the field and get drafted. So,
big shout out to Queens Baseball. Back to you, William.
Queens enters its third year as a member of the conference. The Royals narrowly missed the ASUN championship last year, finishing with a 14-16 record in conference play. They returned two key pieces in Will Budnick and Jake Barber. Budnick recorded 43 hits and scored 27 runs, while Barber tallied 48 hits and crossed the plate 42 times. Queens starts its first series of the season at Appalachian State. Up next, let's send it to Richmond, Kentucky and hear from the Colonels' Coach Walt Jones and Tate Nunnally. Coach Jones, what's the biggest challenge facing the team this season?
I'd say the biggest challenge for us heading into the 25 season would be a lack of experience on the position player side. We lost a ton, pretty much a brand new infield, a couple guys in the outfield, but you know, we have Tate, of course, Elijah, who got a little experience out there in the outfield last year. Maury had a little experience on the infield at shortstop a little last year, and Silas behind the plate. But outside of that, there'll be several new faces. So that'll be the challenge. It's not necessarily, you know, filling in those spots, but you know, just the lack of experience. You know, not knowing what we're going to get initially.
Tate, you received a nod on last year's all-freshman squad. What are some of your personal goals heading into 2025?
I'd definitely like to become a better fielder. I feel like that's something I struggled with a little bit last year and something I've been working on this offseason to get better at. And also just becoming a more consistent hitter. I think like some weekends, like I have a really good weekend and turn around the next weekend and completely lose it. So definitely those two things.
Coach Jones, this year you have Blake Beck and Andre Stepp joining your staff. What do those two bring to your program?
Blake, I've known Blake for a long time, and what I've always seen is, you know, a guy that works. Whether it be when he was at, you know, Jones Community College down in Mississippi and watching him out on the road, and just the people that I talked to, the people that he's worked with at places that he's been before. He's relentless, he's organized, he's really good with these pitchers. These guys get better every day, and it's been a joy to have him on staff. With Andrew, when he decided to get on board this summer, you know, immediately I saw the quality of the human being, and he's been just a huge asset for us. He's been with our outfielders. You can see our outfielders getting better daily. It's and you know, it's just been a good group. There were two really good, you know, hires in my opinion because of, yeah, they're good coaches, but the people. It was an opportunity to bring two really good humans into the program that could help our guys get better and be mentors for them as they navigate, you know, their careers. So,
Tate, what is one lesson you learned last year that you can bring into this spring?
I would say like the little things within a baseball game. Like you look at some of our close losses last year and kind of think on that and think like, oh, if I got a bunt down here or stole this bag or even hit this cutoff guy right here, the outcome would be different. So, yeah, I'd definitely say focusing on the little things and little decisions, even when it seems like it doesn't matter.
Walt Jones was named interim head coach on March 25th of last year and served in that role until May 15th when he was officially named head coach of the Colonels. EKU had a strong 2025 season, finishing with a 14-16 record and making an appearance in the ASUN Championship. A key returner is Kobe Ott, who tallied 42 hits and 29 runs. The Colonels kick off their season at the South Alabama Invitational against Kent State. Next, let's hear from the North Florida Ospreys.
Thank you so much, William. We're here at UNF. Richard Miller with UNF head baseball coach Joe Mercadante and pitcher Clayton Borowski. Joe, we'll start with you. What is the team's mindset coming into this season?
The guys are excited. I think everybody's counting down the days to get to February 14th and face another opponent, but I think everybody's in a good mindset right now. We had a really good fall, especially with a new group of guys, and guys have really started to come together. The work ethic's been great. The morale's been great. The intensity's been great. And now we're just excited to really get into that full practice segment and get our guys ready to go.
Clayton, what about for you guys just entering the ASUN? Do you have any advice for them coming in?
Just to take things one day at a time, because especially as the season approaches, things can go by fast. So just making sure that we take things one day at a time and stay in the moment, because if not, you can be looking back at the end of the season and wishing to do a lot more things.
Joe, what about we work through the preseason? How do you manage the workload, getting guys ready for day one?
Yeah, no, I think that's tricky, right? Because we get back and everybody's so excited to get to that first game. We talk about it a lot. It's a slow build. Obviously we know we have a lot of work to do. We work on something every day, but we want to take care of our bodies. It's a long season, and it can really wear you out, and you want to make sure that you're maintaining and getting stronger as the season goes on. So in our program, we talk a lot about rest and recovery and doing the things they need to do, because we work them hard, they work themselves hard. But the big thing is just trying to make sure they do what they need to do to keep their bodies under control and take care of themselves.
Clayton, is there a way you stay connected, one or a few different ways you stay connected with your teammates off the field?
Yeah, as a whole, we all love to play golf. So we make sure to get out there as a group. And then everybody lives off campus, so we make sure to have those watch parties for those big games.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and best of luck this season.
Thanks, sir.
Joe Mercadante, Clayton Borowski with the University of North Florida. William, back to you.
The Ospreys opened their 2025 season at home in Harmon Stadium against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. North Florida returns two key bats in Jabin Bates and Drew Leinenbach. Bates recorded 39 hits and 28 runs, while Leinenbach tallied 43 hits and 22 runs. Up next, we head to Conway to hear from the Central Arkansas baseball team. We've got head coach Nick Harlan and infielder Tanner Leonard. Coach Harlan, what are some goals that you have set for the team this year?
At the beginning of the year, we talk a lot about, really this year, talked about two things, just really being ultra competitive and just connecting. We had 22 new players and 22 returners. So I thought it was really important that this team worked hard at competing, one, to be the very best that we could be, and then also just competing for new roles and for positions. And then also connecting, because if they don't connect with one another, then essentially they're just playing for themselves. And so we just spent a lot of time focusing on competing every day and connecting with one another and being the very best individually and as a team that we could be.
Tanner, who do you think will have a breakout season this year?
Yeah, there's several guys that I think could have a breakout season. Like Coach said, we have 22 new guys, 22 returners. So when you bring all those together, there's a lot of potential. A lot of guys this fall showed out to me. A lot of freshmen that step up. I'm going to do two on the mound. I think Charlie Christensen's going to have an amazing year. He's been putting in the work. He had a great year last year, but I knew there was still some more in the tank. As an older guy, I just kind of pushed him, and I knew there was some more in the tank. I think he's going to have a breakout year this year. I think it's going to be great. I think he's dialed in. I think he's been working harder than he ever has. So I think he's going to be great. And, out here on the field, I think we're going to have some freshmen. I think Nate Negree, middle infielder, corner infielder, is going to be really good for us. I think me and him have very similar personalities. I kind of took him under my wing when working super hard. I think he's going to have a breakout year as well for us.
Coach Harlan, how do you approach player leadership on and off the field?
Well, number one, I think leadership is about modeling behavior. And so I think it starts with the coaching staff. You have to model the behavior that you expect. And we don't take that lightly. I think that's extremely important. And we've had really good leaders inside of our program. You know, we graduated 2 or 3 really good leaders, and AJ Mendolia and Jesse Barker and Drew Sturgeon, and but we also had some good leaders coming back, like Tanner and Zeb Allen and Casey Shipley, and you know, of course, Lucas Greer and some of the pitchers that we have inside of our program. So, you know, I think that good leadership over the course of time, it's modeled, and the young guys, they step into those roles, and we certainly have that.
Tanner, how do you feel about the team's chemistry heading into a new season?
I feel the team's chemistry is awesome. Of course, when you have 22 new guys, 22 returners, the first few weeks are a lot of seeing who can do what and who can do this and who can do that, and a lot of competing, which I think builds chemistry. And we talk about it from early stages of the year, that I think disciplines and habits, create good work ethic. And I think everyone on this team has the discipline and habits in order to win a championship. And I think we've just kind of gelled together over that, said principle that, the habits and disciplines in order to achieve something greater than ourselves. And I think we've really bonded well over that. The team works hard. We gel together on and off the field. So I think the chemistry on the team is great. A lot of people, have asked me that question of, oh, how do you do that with, so many new guys? And I think just hard work, going for the same goal, having the same disciplines in order to reach that goal helps a lot. We get in there in the weight room every morning, and the bond is just there between the team, and it started, at the very beginning of the fall, and it's only gotten stronger throughout the fall.
The Bears returned key contributors Zeb Allen and Hunter Alexander. Allen posted a .315 batting average with 39 runs, while Alexander recorded a 5-3 record with 8 saves. Central Arkansas begins its 2025 season against Northwestern State. Next, let's send it to the Jacksonville Dolphins.
Hi, I'm Lyric Love. I'm here with
Chris Hayes with Jacksonville University Baseball.
And Blake DeLomler, senior outfielder.
And Coach Hayes, what is your team's biggest strength as you see it right now?
For the 2025 campaign, I've got to say our biggest strength is going to be our depth. We've got 16, 18 position players I feel very comfortable with running out on a daily basis, and then on the mound, feel very good about the depth of our starting pitching, and then the back end support to finish games.
And Blake, what is your favorite part about playing with this group of teammates?
I think it's the camaraderie. Everyone gets along really well, and then we all have really competitive energy. So, I'm excited to see how that translates out on the field this year.
Yeah, and Coach Hayes, how do you see the role being played for the veterans on the team for the younger players?
Well, we're fortunate to have some of the older guys on the team and guys that have been through the ASUN, very familiar with the places that want to play and who we've got to play against. Really just to show our young guys how to get it done in this league. It is going to be a tough track, especially going with the new divisional play and playing everybody in our division 6 times. So familiarity is going to be a key, but then how do you handle the adversity that's going to be presented throughout the season? We're really going to lean on those older guys to show the younger, new guys how to navigate this conference.
Sure. And Blake, being a veteran, how do you plan on setting the example for the younger players?
I'm not the biggest vocal guy, so I think truly leading by example and just showing these guys how to handle adversity. And, being a guy that if they're struggling, I could be the guy that they can come to and help out and stuff.
For sure. Back to you.
Jacksonville had a successful 2024 season, finishing with a conference record of 19-12. The Dolphins returned key contributors Chandler Howard and Richard Long. Howard recorded 41 hits and posted a .347 batting average, while Long recorded an 8-2 record with a .380 ERA last season. The Dolphins opened this campaign at home in John Sessions Stadium against number 21, West Virginia. Next, let's head to Nashville to hear from the Lipscomb Bisons.
Thanks, William. My name is Blake Forshee. I'm here with Bison's senior middle infielder Parks Balk, senior catcher outfielder Jake Berg, and the head honcho himself, Jeff Forehand. The Bisons, 2 years removed from winning the ASUN championship down in DeLand, facing a challenge this year, replacing a lot of offensive firepower. Alex Vergara, Austin Kelly, Trace Wilhoit, and Mason Lundgren have all graduated, which is a big blow to the Bison's offense. But Skip, what do you see the biggest challenge being this season?
Well, I think we're going to have to score some runs different ways than we did last year and the previous 2 years. So it's kind of a challenge. We actually talked about it in a meeting here this past week, and there's a lot of ways to score. We scored via the home run the last couple of years, which, not saying we're not going to hit a few homers, but I think there's some other ways that we can score. I think we got some additions to these guys coming back and some of the transfers and younger guys that are coming in. We just got a different style of offense potentially this year, so looking forward to seeing where that's going to go.
Jake, you suffered an injury last year, kept you out for most of the second half of the season. Returning this year, first off, how's the recovery process going? But secondly, what have you seen from the new pitching staff that we're bringing in?
First off, the recovery process has been really good. It's all pretty much healthy now. I haven't had any problems with it this fall, knock on wood, but it's been good so far. And then I feel like our pitching staff's in a great place this year. So Z's done a great job recruiting. Skip has done a great job recruiting those guys and getting a bunch of guys with experience in the college level already. And then we got a few guys returning too, coming back from injury, so we should be in a good spot come spring.
Parks, it's a long season. Obviously, the goal at the end, win the ASUN, get to the NCAA tournament. How do you stay focused on those goals in between all the midweek games and the long off-season process?
Sure, yeah. In college baseball, every game means the same, right? There's no games that are bigger than others, and it's kind of just like winning the small things. Like we talk about winning every pitch, winning every inning. And if you win every pitch and win every inning, you're going to end up winning a lot of games. And, that's our goal.
Skip, scheduling process, I know it's not completely filled yet. Contracts still yet to be signed. What goes into building the schedule to get the team some experience against some top-level competition in the non-conference slate to get them prepared for the ASUN play?
Well, anybody that's just looked at our schedule in the last several years, and it's been one that we aim high, and the opportunity for us to play some of those teams that where we hope to end up at the end of the year. This year we've got Kentucky and West Virginia and Florida State, just to name 3 series out of our first 4 that should if those series don't get you prepared for the upcoming conference season, we're not doing the right thing. So everybody recognizes those names. We recognize 2 of those teams that were World Series teams. One of those teams in West Virginia was a super regional team. So they're going to prepare us. There's no way. We know that we've scheduled and we've aimed high. But again, we just talked about that just yesterday. Doesn't matter who we play. It just matters how we execute and perform, what we worked on for so many weeks and months adding up to that. So, it's an exciting thing. And then you get into the conference play and, anything can happen in those games. And so not saying that doesn't matter who you play, but those games do get you prepared for what we're going to experience inside the conference.
All right. You've heard from Parks Balk, Jake Berg, and Jeff Forehand from the Lipscomb Bisons as they look to improve off a year and hopefully to capture an ASUN tournament down in DeLand once again. This is Blake Forshee sending it back to you in the studio, William.
Lipscomb enters 2025 after finishing 15-15 in conference play last spring. The Bisons look forward to more production this season from David Coppage, who recorded 40 hits with a .313 batting average in 2024. The Bisons opened the season at home in the Music City against Kentucky. Next, we hear from Austin Peay head coach Roland Fanning and outfielder John Bay. Coach Fanning, what lessons did your team learn last season that you took into the offseason to help prepare you for 2025?
I think last year just, showed us, how much more we need to be locked in to finish out games and finish out the season. We had obviously a fantastic year last year with team success, which brought a lot of individual success for the program, no doubt about it. But every year we've continued to climb and move this thing in a direction that's helps us play longer at the end. And Yeah, I think last year was good for all of us. It was good for our players to see what winning was at a high level, and what accomplishments can be had because of that. But I think our team is more prepared on the team goals because we finally saw some success in year 2, and now we're hungry to kind of capture that feeling again.
John, how has your off-season training prepared you for 2025?
It's been great. The coaches here have set plans in the off season when we were back home, so I feel like we are really prepared and excited to go into this new year.
Coach Fanning, how can competing in divisions help the Govs this year?
Yeah, I probably look at it a little differently. Divisions, I don't know about the divisions part that factors in. It's one game at a time for us. We'll treat it just like any other season. They all matter, they all count, especially if you're wanting to do something that nobody thinks you can do at the end. Our goal is it takes what it takes that day to win that game. If it's divisional play, great. If it's non-conference, great. For us, it doesn't matter. We're trying to win every game possible. Division's going to be something new, which I think is going to be great and fun, and a new challenge playing somebody, 6 times total. But we kind of worry about us and how we're going to go about it, not so much what the other opponent looks like. So we're excited about it. These guys will be prepared, no doubt.
John, what personal goals have you set for yourself this season?
I set 2 personal goals. One would be have as much fun as humanly possible, and 2, help the Govs win as many baseball games as humanly possible.
The Governors had a strong 2024 by earning the ASUN regular season championship. You just heard from John Bay, who tallied 76 hits and posted a .365 batting average last season. Austin Peay also returns Brody Seiko, who recorded 60 hits and scored 44 runs. The Govs begin the season with a trip to Arizona for the MLB Desert Invitational, where they'll face New Mexico. Next, let's send it to Fort Myers and the FGCU Eagles.
Thanks, William. Here with head coach Dave Tillett and right-handed pitcher Justin Henschel from the Florida Gulf Coast University baseball team. And coach, last year was a really solid year for you guys. You're right back to win share of the ASUN regular season championship. It really came down to that blue-collar mentality that you try to instill in your players. How do you get that to carry over into this season?
Well, I think last year was just a great example of a blue-collar mentality and the standard that we have here at FGCU. For a team that started off 4-10 to really get it rolling, they found their stride late, and we were a really, really good ball club late. But I think the word culture is used a lot, and I really don't think it's thrown out there a lot. I think the culture starts with me. I think the standard starts with our alumni that have set the standard before. And the standard remains the same, is come out and compete for a conference championship and compete for a regional bid. And so I look forward to this year. I think we're, on paper, I think we're a little bit better than we were last year, but we still got to prove it on the field and get better in practice.
Now, Justin, you were pitching some of your best baseball at the end of last season. How do you carry that over into the fall? What were you doing to try to get yourself better in the fall leading into next spring?
At the end of last season, I actually had a lot of conversation with Coach Toe about, the mental aspects of the game and, what I need to be focused on. And it's just staying focused pitch by pitch, not worried about outcomes, not worried about the end of the game, worried about the next pitch that gets called to my headset and executing that pitch to the best of my abilities. And this fall, I'm just trying to stay with that same mindset and mentality. And a lot of what I've actually been doing to get better is working with other kids on the team, bouncing ideas off of each other, seeing what we can do to help out each other, get a little bit from this guy, get a little bit from that guy, and really just stay focused and make sure everybody's working. Because the better our whole staff is, the better we are individually.
Coach, he talks about working with other members of the team. Who impresses you so far, and who are you really looking forward to seeing out on the field this spring?
Boy, that's really a tough question because we have so many new faces. We have some, I think, very high impact guys on both sides of the ball, from the pitching side and from the offensive side. From the offensive side, I think we're going to have some length in the lineup. Will it be as good as 2023 when we led the country in home runs, runs scored per game. I don't know if it's that good, but I know it's a much better offense, 1 through 9, than we had last year. So I'm looking forward to that. We added some key pieces to go with Justin in the rotation. So I think all in all, it's a better team.
Now, the news broke recently. Of course, we're taping this end of November, but, you know, Justin, we just had Chris Sale win the Cy Young Award for the National League. What does that mean for you as a Florida Gulf Coast University pitcher to see something like that happen and to know that that's a trajectory that you could end up following one day as well?
Man, it's awesome just seeing a guy that's been where you've been, like, reach the highest heights of the sport that obviously that we're trying to play. It's an incredible feeling. I know Coach Toe is pretty close with him, so knowing that your coach has coached a guy like that kind of gives you some faith in him. It shows that he knows what he's doing for sure, and you know, it just makes me want to come out and work every day even more, knowing that that's a possibility, knowing a guy came from where you came from and got there. So super exciting stuff, and I'm really proud of him.
All right, Coach Toe, Justin, thank you so much. Let's head back to the studio in William.
The Eagles aim to build on a successful 2024 where they finished as the ASUN regular season champion. FGCU returns Evan Dempsey and Mac Moyes, both of whom had a batting average above 300 and scored 40 or more runs last season. The Eagles opened this season at home against Fairfield inside Swanson Stadium. Next, we hear from our reigning ASUN champions, the Stetson Hatters. We've got head coach Steve Tremper and Jonathan Gonzalez. Coach Tremper, how ready is your team to get to opening day, and how did last year's NCAA regional appearance motivate you for 2025?
Well, our ball club has been getting ready, obviously, throughout the course of the 2 semesters. The fall semester incorporates all of our practices and getting everybody used to our systems, and certainly a lot of workouts as we go forward. And then certainly the last few weeks building up to the season and opening day, you know, you're working really hard, get your scrimmage work in, and trying to get everybody caught up as far as at-bats and certainly some innings on the mound. Last year's regional appearance, you know, obviously winning the ASUN regular season championship and then also the conference championship, it really was a good benchmark for our program. It's something that we strive for every single year. Obviously, the history here at Stetson, you can look at the wall and the outfield fence. It has a lot of years up here that's been accomplished. And so we're just trying to maintain, you know, the standard of excellence that we have with Stetson baseball. You know, playing in that regional atmosphere was awesome. You know, it's a great crowd, especially playing in the home state of Florida at Florida State, knocking off, you know, SEC foe Alabama to, you know, to advance into the regional tournament a little bit. It gave us a good sense of confidence. I think this year we're just looking to build off of those successes, knowing it's not going to be easy, and you know everybody's always gunning for you. So use those positive experiences, how to build your success to move into the future.
Jonathan, how do you handle the pressures of preseason expectations?
Yeah, for sure. It always comes a lot with winning the championship, and we're gonna have a big target on our back. But just a common theme around our locker room right now is just to stay within our walls and to make sure we're just handling our own business and not really worrying about what's going on elsewhere, and just knowing that we got to really put in the work to get back to where we were last year.
Coach Tremper, how does this year's squad compare to previous teams that you've coached?
So the 2025 baseball club we have, you know, I think that compared to other teams we've had in the past, each and every team is different. You know, you got to constantly pay attention to your culture, to your locker room. You know, things change all the time, not only inside the course of years, but even inside of months of your program. You know, sometimes coaches leave, and obviously today's day and age with players being able to get opportunities to play professional baseball. So, you know, this year's club has a good sense of grit, a really good sense of positive thinking, energy, and they really want to go out there and compete every single day. You know, my job as the head coach is to put them in a position to be successful. Obviously, you know, coach my brains off, and along with our staff, we got to coach really hard and give them our best. And you know, the wins are great, the championships are great. They're basically our rewards. You know, we always talk about our true success is just giving these guys an experience of a lifetime in their time that they're playing here as a Stetson Hatter.
Jonathan, What can we expect from the Hatters in 2025?
We got a few returners there, some older guys now, some seniors that really helped us out last year, and they're coming back now. We got a few guys coming off injuries, and we just got a really talented bunch out of the transfer portal. So we're really excited about that, and just working together and collaborating with all those guys has been really fun, and we're really excited to show it this spring.
The Hatters look to once again finish the season as ASUN tournament champions in 2025. They returned two key players in Isaiah Barquette and Lorenzo Miola. Barquette recorded 60 hits with a .309 batting average, while Miola tallied 69 hits and posted a .297. The Hatters opened the season in Puerto Rico facing UConn. We're almost wrapping this show up, but first, let's take a look where all 12 of our teams landed in the 2025 preseason coaches poll. The Hatters, fresh off capturing their 9th ASUN championship, came in first in our preseason coaches poll. FGCU was second, with Austin Peay coming in at third. The Eagles, Governors, and Hatters all earned a share of the 2024 ASUN regular season championship, with matching 20 and 10 marks in league play. Lipscomb, Jacksonville, and Central Arkansas rounded out the top half of the preseason rankings. Those were our preseason team rankings, but let's take a look at our preseason superlative awards: player, defensive player, and pitcher of the year. Austin Peay's John Bay was selected as the preseason player of the year. He enters the 2025 season after batting .365 with 24 home runs and 72 RBI last spring. Stetson's Lorenzo Miola followed up his 2024 ASUN Championship MVP nod with the preseason Defensive Player of the Year accolade. Jacksonville's Richard Long is the 2025 preseason Pitcher of the Year. Across 83 innings pitched last season, he recorded 62 strikeouts while holding opposing hitters to a .221 batting average. Just like softball, this year baseball is competing within divisions. We've got 6 teams in the Gold Division and 6 teams in the Graphite. The Gold Division includes Austin Peay, Bellarmine, Central Arkansas, EKU, Lipscomb, and North Alabama. FGCU, Jacksonville, North Florida, Queens, Stetson, and West Georgia make up the Graphite Division. I'm so glad you joined us today for the 2025 ASUN Baseball Showcase. Once again, I'm William Hall. Opening day is right around the corner. Let's get on to the first pitch.